On a special edition of the Sophie Scholl Society, I'm Pastor Mel McGinnis, and I'm talking to you today because this day the House is going to be taking a vote concerning impeachment. That's been on the minds of many. And in the Sophie Scholl Society, we're not afraid to talk about religion and politics. And I think there's some things that we ought to be aware of as we see this unusual event in Washington go on, because I say unusual since impeachment has occurred very rarely in the United States. But there's things I want you to keep in mind. And it goes back to a Tea Party prayer meeting I was at just a few days ago. At that prayer meeting, the statement was made, Lord, help us not only to get the truth, but to accept the truth. Yes, we want the truth, but can we accept it? We live in a society today that's operating on narrative. Or to put it another way, there's a person who made a comment saying, we live in a post-truth age, such that the narrative, whether it's based on fact, whether it's based on truth, is irrelevant. Just make sure your narrative gets out there to persuade minds, to convince them and coax them. No, we as believers in Jesus Christ want to get the truth, and for our hearts also to receive the truth. Be very aware of narratives that are circulating out there, because they may not be based upon fact and truth. And it gets to the next thing, procedure. We've seen what's been going on with regard to procedures, things being done in secret, hearings being in this basement-like place called the skiff, where secrecy is highly maintained. And for some strange reason, what's being discussed there is not classified, it's actually unclassified, which makes you wonder, why is this being done under the cover of darkness? Just something for us to be aware of as we're observing this in the news. Because I was young when it was occurring, but when Nixon was undergoing these impeachment proceedings, two names come to mind, Sam Rayburn and Peter Rodino. Those two individuals kept things out in the open. You could see it on television. It was almost on 24/7, so to speak, during that day on the three major networks. We all had the information before us. Now, it's being hid from us. And the only thing we get are leaks. We don't get what's really going on in those secret basement meetings. And finally, what is the purpose of all of this? Is the purpose of this impeachment proceeding for the sake of the Constitution? Or is it being done for the sake of a campaign strategy? Are there individuals in Congress who are so upset still at what took place in 2016 that they see impeachment as a way to get back at what happened in 2016? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. And when I heard a commentator speak to this issue about impeachment being a campaign strategy, it really called into question if those who are forwarding this process are really doing it for the sake of the integrity of the Constitution, or just to do it so that they can get things ready for themselves in 2020. Whatever that may be concerning the purpose, whatever that may be concerning the procedures, again, what we really want to get at is the truth. So I go back to that statement made at a Tea Party prayer meeting recently. Lord, help us to get to the truth, and help us to accept the truth. This is the way we as Bible-believing believers want to have a biblical perspective on what we are observing in Washington today? Well, I'm Mel McGinnis, and like Tony Kornheiser, if pardon the interruption says, I'll try to do better the next time.